folks. So this video is about using default arguments. If you take a look at this function prototype up here, which says int ask number, and it has two parameters, high and low. The second parameter here, low, it says int low equals 1. So this is a default argument here. So what this means is that you have the choice of explicitly giving the argument. So in this case, you're passing ask number the parameters 10 for high and 5 for low, or you can just pass it one parameter, the 5. The 5 will be assigned to high, and low will get this default value of 1. Okay, so a couple important things about this is the default value is shown with this equal sign and the value in the function prototype, but not in the function definition. So down here we have the function definition for ask number. We just have high and low, and there's no indication of the default. So it's the function prototype that gives us the default. What else? Let's see. The idea here is that if you're going to have default arguments in your function prototype, you're going to want to set them up at the end of the list of arguments. So let me just pop in an example here. So here's an example where we have set display is our function, and we have height and width, and then we have default. Here we have two default arguments, depth and full screen. Okay, so that's a fine, prototype. There's nothing wrong with that one. What you can't do is something like this here. So you can't, let me comment this one out for a second. You can't have a default value and then have values following it or arguments following it that don't have a default value. Okay, so this argument has a default value of 32. You have to stick in something here, true or false or something, to make this be valid. Okay, see, now the squiggle goes away. So let's see, maybe we can see what the error is if it shows up here. What's it say? It says error, default argument not at end of parameter list. So all the default arguments have to be once you have a default argument, all the arguments that follow that one also have to be default arguments, if you have any following it. What else? Okay, so we said how they work, right? You can, since ask number has one one regular argument and one default argument with a default value, that means we can give either one or two, pass either one or two arguments. Let's see, what we couldn't do with set display. So let's make a pretend set display for a second here. So again, we can, when we're doing our definition, I'm doing a copy here and a paste. When we're defining this function, we don't use the default values. So I'm going to take out this equal 32 and this equal true. And again, function prototypes have semicolons. Function definitions are followed by braces, and you know, whatever is done inside there. So I could put some code in here. I'm just going to leave it kind of stubbed out for now because I just want to demonstrate how this works. So what we could do at this point is we could say set display I don't know, 640 by 480, and we could, if we wanted to give it a depth, we could, and if we wanted to say it's not full screen, we could do that. Okay, so that's one thing we could do. Another thing we could do is just give it the values that are not default values. Okay. We could actually, I think we could just, let's try it. Set display 640, 480, and 16. So if we wanted to make that be the depth, yeah, that looks okay because we're kind of following these in order. But if we skip past the depth argument and try to just give 640, 480, and false, that one's going to be a problem. And it's interesting, it's not giving us a problem at this point. What if I try to run it? What happens? Yeah, it looks like for oh, 7. Okay, so it looks like for Visual C++, this isn't a problem. The thing is, this is not guaranteed to work in general. Usually you have to, because typically you can't like skip a value. You can't. So you would have to, for other compilers, you might have to just go ahead, even though 32 is the default value, you might have to just go ahead and stick in a 32 there just to make it compile. So what I would do is, even though it works fine on Visual C++, I would go ahead and put that one in. So I would say, in general, don't do this. Okay, don't skip over, because we have width, height. Don't skip over one of the defaults and go to the next default. Okay, I think this will be okay in general, but don't do this one. All right, so that is the scoop on default arguments.